now for something completely different.
There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? And what did we learn? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into. The Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking, where we talk about everything else.
Hello, America, family, friends, and listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show. I am Craig L. Hayes. I should say this is Just Thinking. Craig L. Hayes, Just Thinking. I have 3 podcasts, and I admonish you guys to take and go and listen to the other ones. One of them is called It's Showtime, the Craig L. Hayes Show. It's all about entertainment. I also have one that I'm starting up here and just going to be just putting some new ones on there next week, I'm hoping. The first ones, I should say, it's called Main Street, the Craig L. Hayes Show. But right now, at this moment, here in time, you're listening to the Craig L. Hayes Show, Just Thinking. It's where we talk about everything else. And usually these are just going to be monologues and stuff and my thoughts. And once in a while, maybe I'll get somebody to come on here that wants to talk a little bit about political stuff or the gospel of Jesus Christ or philosophy, science, all the things that I love learning about and talking about. But they're all on YouTube, so look them up and enjoy. Anyways, today is September 26th, 2025. We're in the Northern Command Center up here in Enterprise, Utah. It's like 64, 5, something like that degrees outside, and it is gorgeous. It's calm and quiet and beautiful. The reason why I live here for the biggest chunk of reason. Anyhow, today I'm going to have two podcasts I'm going to do, and this is going to be one of them called National Sovereignty. Because we've heard some things that have been going on over in the Middle East, and I'm really just done with Europe in so many ways. I'm done with all these people who think they have to be cowards and cower to Islamic people that have moved into their countries and are trying to turn their nations into Islamic Sharia law Islamic nations. You guys are doing this stuff to your own destruction. But that's not what this topic is about. National sovereignty, I'm going to just say England, France, Australia, and a bunch of you other places, shame on you for trying to tell Israel that they need to take and split their country into 2 and call one Palestine and the other Israel. The whole nation that's there is called Israel. And these people who are called Palestinians, there are no Palestinians in the Bible. There aren't anywhere else, even in the Quran. They're nowhere to be found in any book or anything like that. They're nomadic, Bedouin, whatever you want to call it, people that came from Jordan and other parts many years ago. The nation is Israel. It has always been Israel for 4,000 years, and it will always be Israel. There is no such thing that will happen called from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. No, Israel will not disappear. Israel will not be pushed into the ocean and destroyed. The opposite will happen. And I wish Israel would just make sure Gaza was completely stripped out of not just Hamas, but then make sure that the Palestinians live there, go move to somewhere else, like back to Jordan, where they originated from. But that's my desire. And the ones that live on the so-called West Bank, it's not the West Bank of Jordan. It is not the West Bank of Jordan. It is Samaria and Judea. With that out of the way, let's have a chat. Israel got attacked October 7th. Almost, what was it, 2 years ago? 700 days it's been. Yeah, it's almost been 2 years ago. They got attacked in 23, October 7, 2023, by Hamas and Palestinians supporting Hamas. 1,200 or 1,300, something like that, Israeli men, women, and children were slaughtered, literally hacked to death, burned to death, raped, mutilated, stabbed, shot, everything. I've seen some of the videos, and only animals would treat another human being that way. They declared war. They declared, Hamas and the Palestinians in Gaza, the strip there, declared war on Israel, and Israel responded in kind. You want a war? You got it. Israel has taken great efforts and lengths to not just carpet bomb that place into nothing. They're better than I am. Had someone come to we carpet bombed Afghanistan and we carpet bombed Iraq for attacking us on October 11th, 2001. And for Iraq, the possibility they're trying to get a weapon of mass destruction. We carpet bombed the crap out of those people. And yet Israel's been so constrained, the most constrained military I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if I was Benjamin Netanyahu, I would have held that much restraint. I think I would have unleashed the dogs of war with tanks and everything else, shoving everybody down to a certain area and then taking bulldozers and leveling everything behind them. And then giving them a small passage and saying, you all can leave, but you go through this passage next to the Suez Canal, and you can wind yourselves back, and we're going to be with you, and make sure you all go back to Jordan. Or if somebody else wants to give you a land that you want to be, that's fine. But you're no longer going to be in Israel. And that Gaza Strip will be developed and turned into Israel in its own uses. I would have done that. Don't ever put me in power or control of any nation like that. But anyways, the stuff that has gone on to Israel, 250, I think, or 300 Israeli citizens have been held hostage, tortured, raped, killed by these animals called Hamas. They are subhuman human beings as far as I'm concerned. And yet Israel's the bad guys. Everyone blames Israel for being in this war. They didn't start it. 1,200 people of their people were killed. What does Israel have? A nation of about 8 million people or something like that, around that? Losing 1,200 people. We lost 3,000. We lost 3,000 people on October 11th. Or sorry, September 11th. Gee. September 11th, 2001. I knew what I meant. My mouth just said something different than what my mind was saying. And we went in and spent hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars fighting for 20 years in Afghanistan. Israel's been fighting for 2 years on their own with no help from anybody against subhuman animals known as Hamas and a lot of the Palestinians. And it's Israel's fault. Wow. I don't know how that even works. I don't, the numbers that Israel, if we had lost the numbers in comparison, 1,200 to 9 million, run that up to, say, just 10 million. Let's just call 10 million. Make it simple. Lose 1,200 people, 1,300. That's 13,000 per million. If we did it with the United States, basically. or 130,000. I have to run the numbers. I got a paper and pen. I could do it real quick. In my head, and it's not so quick. Anyhow. And Benjamin Netanyahu promised the leaders of Hamas that he would hunt them down wherever they were. And our so-called friends there in Qatar, they're not our friends. It's 350,000 people who live there, a bunch of people who are appointed to be the king or the prince or whatever they are over there, who are actually taking the money from the wealth they have in natural gas and spreading it all over the world and giving it to, guess who? Their number one client and number two clients are Hezbollah and Hamas. And yet we don't do anything about Qatar for doing the things that they're doing. Just because we have a military base there. I have a place I know what I would eliminate and take our base and go move it somewhere else. So somebody else is a little bit more friendly. Anyhow, that's what I would do. Let's go back to this. So Israel decides, we know where these leaders of Hamas are, and they're living like billionaires, and they're all billionaires. Isn't it amazing how you can be living in tunnels and you can be trying to kill your enemy, and the people that you're giving orders to over there in Israel, in Gaza, they're all living like rats, hiding away from the Israeli army. But you live over in Qatar in these high dollar billionaires, and they're all billionaires. I don't know how they got to be billionaires, being leaders of poor people. We all know how it happens. Money flows into the country to help the people, and it goes right to those people, and right to the leaders, and they take it and done. That's why I have no sympathy for the Palestinians or the Hamas leaders. But what we're looking at here is those leaders living over in Qatar, or Qatar, however you want to say it, I don't care. It's just a bunch of other inbred royal families that claim some kind of lineage of royalty, that never existed until after World War I. So Israel says, we're going to go attack them. We're going to wipe out the head of the snake. They tell America. America tells Qatar. And Qatar tells the guys they're coming to get you, and they leave. We miss them. This happened again when Obama was president. He sent the FBI over there to catch Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Remember him? The mastermind behind 9/11 when the towers came down. And the people and the government of Qatar told him the FBI was on their way, and they helped him get out of there. Qatar is not our friend. Qatar is I don't know if you want to call it a state sponsor of terrorism or a financier of terrorism. They finance schools all over here in the United States to promote Islam, to take and promote the hatred of Israel. Doing a pretty good job by what I've seen on the college campuses. And all around the world with Al Jazeera and radio and all the other stuff they have. The important part to remember is they're not our friends. Even though President Trump tries to treat them like friends and bring them into the world that's not in a terrorist situation, they're not our friends. So Israel goes and flies their jets over there, hits the places where they should be, and kills other people, but doesn't take off the head of the snake. Because they weren't there. They had escaped. They better keep running because Israel's going to find them. And they're going to get them. If one thing we've learned about Israel, even clear into when it went after Iran, they are fearless. They have no other choice but to be fearless. And I love how everyone started screaming and crying. especially, Qatar and others, that they violated their national sovereignty. And people in this country, especially Democrats, but they don't love this country anyway, so what do they care about if someone violates the sovereignty of the United States by bringing in 20 million illegal aliens through the southern border? Don't want to hear it from you. Just don't want to hear it from you guys. You guys have no claim to any kind of righteous thoughts or anything about this nation. Israel did what they had to do, and they're going to keep doing what they have to do, and they don't care what anybody says about it. But national sovereignty, to sit there and have other people scream about, you violated Qatar's national sovereignty. And people in this country, when we went into Afghanistan, did that not violate Afghanistan's national sovereignty? I don't care if we got something from a bunch of jerks in the United Nations saying we should go and do that. Doesn't a terrorist group in another nation, shouldn't that nation have the right to say, we don't want you coming into our territory and we should adhere to their national sovereignty? We said, screw you, we're sending in planes, bombers, military people on the boots, on the ground. We're going to take over your country, basically. So we shouldn't have anything to say about national sovereignty. Did we not, going after Osama bin Laden, violate Pakistan's national sovereignty by flying in there with helicopters, stealing him, killing him, and then throwing his body in a couple Black Hawks, taking him out of there, back across the border? Did that not violate Pakistan's national sovereignty? How about Iraq? We thought that they had trying to put together a weapon of mass destruction. They kept on saying, we don't have it. We said, no, we're pretty sure you do. United Nations said, yeah, go ahead and do it. United Nations, we just need to get rid of that organization. Anyways, we went in there and violated Iraq's national sovereignty. And stayed there for, 15, 18, 20 years, So, and other nations of the world followed us in. They all violated it. The same nations now that are saying, Israel, you violated Qatar's national sovereignty. So please don't talk about national sovereignty unless you mean it. Please don't talk about national sovereignty unless you're willing to stand for national sovereignty and not let people invade our nation. Not be the party, the Communist Party of the Democrats, the Democrat Communist Party, whatever we want to call it. The Democratic Communist Party of America. Yeah, that's the Democrat Party. And you bring in 20 million people illegally into this country and flood this nation with all the problems you did. Please do not say a word about Israel. You have no right to tell Israel what they can and can't do to protect their small nation, the size of New Jersey. And our nation better not say anything either. Our leadership just better say, well, Israel, I guess you missed them. But hey, we'll put our ears to the ground and our eyes out there too and keep our eyes open. And I'll let you know when we find them too. Which I don't think that Israel should trust us at all. Especially if we're going to go tell the nations that they're in that, Israel's on their way to get them. Israel just needs to go do it. Find them, take them out. Send the Mossad in there and just deal with it. So, national sovereignty. What do you think of it? Do you believe nations should be sovereign and others should not do anything to violate that? And if they do, then what do we do? Then what do we do about it? What do we do about the 100+ nations that violated our national sovereignty by sending people here illegally? What do we do about the party that invited them in? What do we do about the traitors that are treasonous in their actions, allowing the people to come across our border and violate our national sovereignty? Preaching to others about that. we don't have a leg to stand on. We can only tell people what they should and shouldn't be doing if we're doing it ourselves, and we are actually adhering to those types of policies and laws and understanding about what it takes to operate in this world. So what do you think about national sovereignty? I've told you what I think about it. And I really don't have too much to say about it after this. Israel, keep going. Exterminate Hamas and shove the Palestinians out of your nation. They are a terrorist people. Every nation they've ever gone into, they create terrorism. Palestinians are terrorists. Not a whole lot different than Hamas, because Palestinians joined with Hamas in invading Israel. So don't back down to the world's opinions. Don't back down to a bunch of coward nations around the world. And I hope that we don't become a coward nation and get worried because we might offend a few Muslims around the world. Don't care. Don't care if we do offend you. But I'm going to have a talk about Islam in this country too, and how we can maybe start getting along and see if we can trust reformed Muslims to be in this world, in this nation. But the ones that want Sharia law, they need to leave. We need to boot them out, send them back where they came from. Anyhow, that's a different topic for another day. So until then, folks, we will meet again here on this podcast, and I hope you learned something. Hope you've enjoyed a little bit of it and made you think about something, because that's the point of this, is to make you think, make you pay attention, make you go, I never thought of it like that. If I get that out of this discussion, then all the stuff I do on these things is more than worth it. So, folks, until next time. You've been listening to the Craig L. Hayes Show. Just thinking.